Anybody who wants to attend your wedding will attend your wedding. Hello, my name is Dr. Shara Madugwe and I'm the creative director of Shamal Experience. Today we're going to be talking about how long should it take you to start planning your wedding. We get this question a lot at Shamal Experience when couples call in for consultation. They say, oh, my wedding is so and so date. When do we start planning? I personally do not think that there's a timeline to start planning your wedding. To be very fair, if your date is available, you can plan your wedding in 2 days. As long as you have the money and you're ready to, lose some of your vendors. Because if you pick a date that your vendors are not available, there's nothing you can do about it. But the solid, or should I say the best time to plan your wedding is 6 months to 1 year from your wedding date. So technically in Shamal, I love how that sounds, technically in Shamal. We should be your wedding planner. Like, do you know what it sounds when you say, or rather, do you know how it sounds when you say Shamal planned my wedding? That's a global brand. A lot of times when couples call or when clients call, they say to us, oh, my wedding is in December and this is January. Is it too early to start planning? And when we say no, they say, that's a long time. It's actually not a long time. A lot of the weddings that we plan in Shamal Experience actually takes like a year. For some people, 6 months, some people 9 months, 8 months. For example, we're currently in August 2024 and we're already booked for June 2025. And we got booked for June 2025 in June 2024. So that's almost a year already. It gives you time to be able to change ideas, time to be able to plan your wedding at your own pace. You're not rushing. You're able to pick the right vendors, the right dates, get good prices. You're able to explore ideas and you're not under pressure. You can take a break from wedding planning and come back to it now. If you decide to plan your wedding in 3 months or let's say 2 months, you're under a lot of pressure. You need to actually concentrate on the wedding planning. Wedding planning is stressful already, trust me. You do not want to put more pressure on yourself by not having enough time to plan. There are also vendors that tell you, for example, like the designers, they tell you, no, you cannot sew your outfit if it's 6 months to your wedding because they need time to get the right fabric, time to sketch designs, time for consultations. There's actually a lot for them. So they really need time to do all of these things. So 6 months to 1 year is actually a great time to plan your wedding. Also, when planning your wedding or when picking a date, I know that a lot of people in diaspora love to pick the season, the festive season, and that's okay. But when you're picking your wedding dates during the festive season, I also think that you want to try and pick an earlier date or not a date that is common in quotes. So for example, dates like December 28th, December 30th, January 2nd, January 4th. Those days are always fully booked. And trust me, you would always get maybe a vendor that you don't like because your favorite vendors have already been booked. Some of them have been booked like since last year. Some of them have been booked since the beginning of the year. For us in Shamal, there are certain dates that we're not taking anymore because we have been booked for those days. Meanwhile, there are still dates like December 9th, December 16th, December 15th, December 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Those are dates. I know, of course, there are considerations. Oh, we can't come into the country at that time. Oh, our family members will not be around. Trust me, anybody who wants to attend your wedding will attend your wedding. If you pick a date and they don't want to attend the wedding, whether you pick the best date, they will still tell you, I'm sorry, I can't make it. I think that clients should start considering going a bit off season because to be honest, things are cheaper off season. You see that those dates where it feels like everybody's getting married on the same day, a lot of times it doesn't always turn out well. I'm going to give an example. There's this wedding we planned, I think it was December 29th in 2020, can't remember. But yeah, it was an awesome wedding. This client had, great budget, not just a great budget, a huge budget. They wanted to do a lot for their wedding. They were ready to go all out. The designers for the outfits were awesome. But then they picked December 29th and it was really difficult, especially for places like, the East where vendors are a little bit limited. We couldn't get vendors. It was really tough. And then at the end of the day, we got vendors that, we felt that was good enough or we could manage. And even we had convinced the client to change her day. She was like, no, she can't change it. She has to do this. And we're like, okay, no problem. Then we'll just manage. So we had gone through all of these things until today. The client is more like a sister to me now. But every time she says to me, Sharon, I loved my traditional wedding so much, because the white wedding was in Greece. And then she says, I love my traditional wedding so much, but I honestly do not like my pictures. I honestly do not like how my pictures turned out. And I was like, oh, that's because, the photographer that you wanted was already booked. Now, I wish she had picked an earlier date. She would have had, pictures that she would love. And to be honest, I do not think that the photographer that took her pictures is actually bad. She's actually great. The thing is that on your wedding or as a client, you know what you want. And when you don't get it, a lot of times, nothing ever looks good enough. That's just the truth. Sometimes when your mind is stuck up on one designer, you say, oh, this is the designer I want to make my dress. When another designer makes your dress, it might be beautiful, but you might just feel like, I know that if it was this designer, it would have turned out nice. So I think that we should actually consider, picking better dates or greater dates, and not dates that are so crowded and you will not get the best vendors. Your wedding is just one day. You really want to think about it. I hope that these tips can help you. Please always ask me questions in the comment section. I'm always there to answer them. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Shamol Experience, and please subscribe to our channel. We will always share behind the scenes of our weddings. We would always share, content from our weddings, our corporate events, social events, both on Instagram and on TikTok, and of course here on YouTube. But trust me, if Shamol is not planning your wedding, then who is?